Teams are in their second week of two-a-days. The Salina Bobcats enter the 2A season with a legend walking the sidelines. Head coach G.A. Moore is now a member of the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame. Coach Moore is the all-time winningest coach in Texas football history, and the winning looks to continue this year. The Bobcats are ranked in the top 10, and as always, the coach giving most of the credit to his players.
You know, I guess that's about as big honors I've ever had, and, you know, as far as a football coach is, you know, the credit, you know, if you get right down to it, the credit goes to the kids that's played and the guys that's been assistant coaches and the fans in the towns. And
Thursday night, a 2A matchup between the Salina Bobcats and the Lindsay Knights at Fouts Field in Denton. It's a scoreless game of the second half when Lindsay gets something going with a big play. Adrian Anderley breaks through the middle. He'll go 57 yards before being hauled down in Salina territory. The Knights try to cap the drive from the 8-yard line, but Salina's Adam Herring steps in front of the pass, still no score. Late in the game, Salina goes to its bag of tricks, running a reverse pass. Jackie Wyatt runs to his right, then tosses it to a wide-open Jordan Martin in the end zone. It proves to be the difference in Denton.
Some of the games in Class 2A.
The Class 2A area round action in Denton. The Salina Bobcats and their less imposing relatives, the Cubs of Olney. Pick it up in the second quarter. Salina on the move. Quarterback Adam Herron looking for 6. And getting it. Hooking up with Jackie Wyatt for the touchdown. And an 18-0 Bobcat lead. Late in the fourth, Michael Borden gets in on the act. Going down the sideline from 35 yards out for the touchdown. A 31-0 shutout win for Salina. They would match up next week against the winner of this game.
And now that the high school football season is over, college recruiting season is hitting full swing. One of the prize recruits, you saw him right there, is from Salina. He's All-State offensive tackle Derek Long. He is 6'6", 310 pounds, and is being coveted by a lot of schools across the country. A family source tells Channel 12 that it looks like the big guy will end up going to Texas A&M. I understand R.C. Slocum made an offer or invited him to accept the scholarship he will offer in February back last August.
Wow, he wanted him badly.
And he's got some A&M blood in him. His parents went there, so it looks like he should be an Aggie.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Well, 4 people...
Look at another state championship when we come back on Sonics Inside High School Football. The Salina Bobcats look to capture their second state title of the decade. That and more when we return. The Friday Night Scoreboard, sponsored by the Dallas Morning News. For the latest scores and stories, check out Sports Day in the Dallas. All right, Kellen, congratulations to you and all of your teammates from Stephenville. Well, good year for the Salina Bobcats as well. Like Grapevine, Salina trying to win another state title in the 90s. George Dunham has a closer look in this week's cover story.
it's time that you gave it everything you got. If you're on the field, make a commitment to yourself to be the best you can be every play. And that's all I'm going to ask you to do. Let's go out there and have a good time. This is a game that ought to be more fun than any game you've ever played in your life. Get your hands going. Let's get ready. Let's start getting ready, baby. Come on, let's get ready.
The Salina Bobcats were making their second state championship appearance in 4 years. Their opponent, the Elysian Fields Yellow Jackets, were making their first ever state finals appearance. And earlier in the day, Salina got quite a lift from a surprise visitor at their pep rally.
We had a good pep rally day. We had Deion Sanders come in, and it was just pumped everything up, and it just made the whole atmosphere.
It's just a dream come true for the kids, the parents. To play in Texas Stadium is just something that you dream of as a kid, and being a parent just makes us so proud of the program and the kids.
The first half was dominated by defense as both teams struggled to put points on the board. Salina's defense faced their biggest challenge of the year, stopping the Class 2A Player of the Year, Chris Harris, and they would prove to be equal to the task. The Bobcats would try the game's first trick play. In punt formation, Jackie Wyatt takes the pitch and tries to get around the corner, but is brought down by Brandon Ragland. Elysian Fields would then threaten to score the game's first points before Jackie Wyatt gets a measure of revenge with the big sack on Bobby Ware. Salina would then put together the only scoring drive of the first half. capped off by senior Alan Williams, whose run up the middle from 11 yards out gave the Bobcats a 7-0 lead at halftime. Salina coach G.A. Moore was determined to get his offense going in the second half.
Put your head on his outside, knee, seal him to the outside. Gordon, you come up and bounce all the way to the outside. Okay? That's what we want.
The second half featured more good defense as Michael Borden scoops up a Yellow Jacket fumble and goes in for an apparent touchdown. But the officials ruled his teammates assisted his touchdown run, putting the ball back in the hands of the Salina offense. A few plays later, Jeremiah Raymer would punch the ball in from 1 yard out for a 14-0 lead with just over a quarter to go. Early in the fourth quarter, Elysian Fields would try a trick play of their own. Trying to set up the double pass, they fumble, and Jackie Wyatt comes up with his second fumble recovery of the quarter.
Take 42, 53 counter. Get in there, right half.
Now on the verge of putting the game away, the Bobcats go in for another short touchdown. This time it's Michael Borden. Salina led 21-0, and the celebration began.
Oh, baby!
Oh, this has been forever, God. I remember doing this 95 as a freshman, and now it's mine, baby. It's all ours, and we earned it, baby. It's ours.
We won it in 95, and that's got something to prove that there's a lot of good people, good athletes in Salina, Texas.
Oh, they're all good. Hey, you know, man, I don't know. I wouldn't compare them. I just tickled to death. Right now, I can't feel any better than this.
This is what we got. This is what we got. Yeah.
It was truly a great season for the Salina defense. The Bobcats turned in 4 shutouts in 6 playoff games.
Defense brought us here, and defense won it for us. Without our defense, we wouldn't have been much of anything. And defense showed up tonight and tore them up. This is everything. This town. This is this town's dream every year, and we finally got it for them again.
This is George Dunham for Sonics Inside High School Football.
The winningest active coach in the state of Texas has another state title. Congratulations to G.A. Moore and the Salina Bobcats. Go to 2A action now, where G.A. Moore's pregame talk had his Salina Bobcats bouncing off the walls. Their game against Grand Saline. Bobcats will take a 10-point lead at the half behind this diving touchdown from Alan Williams. In the second half, Salina would strike through the air. Adam Heron to Jackie Wyatt for the Bobcats' final touchdown. They win going away 27-9 and would await the winner of our next game.
The Italy 3 more championship games Saturday at Texas Stadium, then it's over. Stephenville plays for the 4A title at 4, and then Salina plays Saturday night at 8. Here's George Reba.
It was a rare practice at Texas Stadium as Salina High School moved into a locker room normally occupied by the Cowboys, hanging their Bobcat helmets on hooks usually reserved for those with a star.
I just saw all those names I see every week play. I saw Troy Aikman, I saw the linemen, I saw Larry Allen, Eric Williams. And I mean, that was kind of cool getting to see guys I watch play on TV every week.
So whose locker did you take?
I took old Larry Allen. I'm a big fan of Larry Allen.
And the walk into Texas Stadium itself was just as eye-popping. A field where Salina will play Elysian Fields for the Class 2A Division II Championship Saturday night.
Well, Elysian Fields played here last Friday night, you know, and when we were talking about this, well, you know, we told them we wanted to come down and just let our kids work out a little bit and wander around in here and kind of look at it and get a feel for it, because it's kind of, you know, it's kind of mind-boggling, some of these kids to come in here the first time.
Salina last won a state championship in 1995 in a game where they beat Alto 35-28. It was the second state title for Salina. Now, 3 years later, the Bobcats are back in the championship game after beating Stanton 9-0 on Friday night. The senior class of '99 would like to win a title of their own.
We've been working 3 years, ever since '95 won it. We want to be a part of that too. All the seniors just about sat down the sidelines watching them play and win it. We want to be a part of it, and we want to do it ourselves.
It's just something we always wanted to do since a long time.
And that title game in '95 was played right here?
Yeah, same place.
Omen?
Maybe.
Texas Stadium has been good to Salina. After all, they won their last state championship here in 1995. This weekend, they're hoping for the same results, playing Elysian Fields here on Saturday night. George Reba, Channel 8 Sports at Texas Stadium.
Goodness, boy. When I was a kid in Iowa, if Bus Michael didn't turn his pickup lights on, we didn't have enough lights to practice. These kids play where the Cowboys play. And here's George Reba.
It was a rare practice at Texas Stadium as Salina High School moved into a locker room normally occupied by the Cowboys, hanging their Bobcat helmets on hooks, usually reserved for those with a star.
I just saw all those names I see every week play. I saw Troy Aikman, I saw the linemen, I saw Larry Allen, Eric Williams. And I mean, that was kind of cool getting to see guys I watch play on TV every week.
So whose locker did you take?
I took old Larry Allen's. I'm a big fan of Larry Allen.
And the walk into Texas Stadium itself was just as eye-popping. A field where Salina will play Elysian Fields for the Class 2A Division II Championship Saturday night.
Well, Elysian Fields played here last Friday night, you know, and when we were talking about this, well, you know, we told them we wanted to come down and just let our kids work out a little bit and wander around in here and kind of look at it and get a feel for it, because it's kind of, you know, it's kind of mind-boggling, some of these kids to come in here the first time.
Salina last won a state championship in 1995 in a game where they beat Alto 35-28. It was the second state title for Salina. Now, 3 years later, the Bobcats are back in the championship game after beating Stanton 9-0 on Friday night. The senior class of '99 would like to win a title of their own.
We've been working 3 years, ever since '95 won it. We want to be a part of that too. All the seniors just about sat down the sidelines watching them play and win it. We want to be a part of it, and we want to do it ourselves.
This is something we always wanted to do since a long time.
And that title game in '95 was played right here?
Yeah, same place.
Omen?
Maybe.
Texas Stadium has been good to Salina. After all, they won their last state championship here in 1995. This weekend, they're hoping for the same results, playing Elysian Fields here on Saturday night. George Reba, Channel 8 Sports at Texas Stadium.
Well, that has to just be a drop-dead deal if you're a kid. I mean, you're up there in Salina, and you say, well, I'm going to play at Texas Stadium Saturday night. Boy, that'd be great.
So you really played high school football?
Yeah, well, with the pickup lights on Friday night. Yeah. Just 1 year. I was really bad.
They're in Logan, Iowa.
Logan, Iowa.
Logan, Iowa.
Okay.
Well, just for one more quick break here, folks, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll take you to the celebration. The only Texoma football team to claim a state title this year. You'll see it exclusively right here on Channel 12. Speaking of ball. Well, last night the Salina Bobcats got their chance. One game for a Class 2A state championship, and tonight the Texoma Spotlight shines at Texas Stadium for a look back at the big one. When all your dreams are right there in front of you, sometimes it's hard to reach out and grab them.
We came out, we were a little nervous at first, I think. We kept our cool. I think we did what we had to do, and we scored a touchdown. We held them on defense, and we kept our poise.
But how many times have you heard this? Defense wins championships, and Salina brought plenty of D.
That's what we do, man. We come out trying to play great defense, and if they don't score, they can't win, can they?
And Elysian Fields didn't score, not a single point. When it's all over, 21-0, and Class 2A champs for the second time in 4 years.
This was the greatest, best film of my life. Everybody's doubting us all week, all the newspapers, everybody else. We knew we could do it. Our town supported us. We came out here and did what we had to do. And we won.
I dreamed in this, but I never thought it would happen, and it did. This is by far the best Christmas present I'll ever have, I think.
Salina High School has never lost a state title game, capturing the third in their history last night. And now, this group of Bobcats can finally say what's been on their minds all season.
We're the best team in the state of 2A. Number one, baby. That's all.
And we'd like to extend our heartfelt congratulations to the Bobcats on a fantastic season. Way to go, guys. And with that, we are out of time tonight. Next week, the Cowboys tune up.
So it is Elysian Fields and Salina for a closer look at how these two teams match up. First, we begin with the Salina Bobcats and the High School Extra Live's Chris Tynan.
The Salina Bobcats are excited about playing for a state championship, and they can thank Mother Nature for the opportunity. You see, last week in the semis, the Cats upset defending champs Stanton in the pouring rain. They overcame the miserable night in Stephenville and will now play for a state title.
They went out there in their shirts, you know, without any undershirts on. I mean, just bare-armed and all, and played. And, you know, when I saw them today, and I didn't say anything to them about that before they went out. But when we went out to warm up, of course, I had on 2 or 3 undershirts and trying to stay warm. And when I noticed that, I felt good about it because I knew they were really, really ready to play.
A lot of people were underestimating us, but they were also saying whoever won that game would probably go on and win the state championship. But I mean, we don't want to put it like that because we still got one more team we have to beat, and we have to handle up on Elysian Fields.
When Celina won the state title back in 1995, several freshman players sat on the sidelines waiting for their opportunity. Well, this year, they've got it.
When we won the state, I was excited, but I didn't feel like I was really a part of it. I didn't play. This year, it just seems like I'm a whole lot more excited just because I'm finally going to get to play in it, and it's just kind of a dream come true.
This Orange Crush team will now try and stop a tough Legion's Field team. They know they're fast and wouldn't be here if they didn't earn it. In Celina, Chris Tynan, High School Extra.
The Celina Bobcats aren't the only orange team in this Class 2A Division II Texas Bowl. Troy Hine, our East Texas High School Extra Live correspondent, with a closer look at those Jackets.
They worked with the defense, and boy, they've done a great job. Plus, the boys have really come through.
This is our dream every year, and we finally did it. We finally got it back to Celina where it should be every year.
On offense, we executed well. Defensively, we held them, and I think that's what pulled us through defensively.
Second time in 4 years, it's Celina again. 21-0 last night.
I mean, our offense is key, and then we did what we had to do. We came out, we drove the ball, we took the ball, and just kept it from them with their high-powered game with Chris Harris and all them.
You won a lot of state championships in your career. How special is this one?
You know, they're all special. I don't know. It can't get any better than this. I feel that way every time, I think.
Chance. One game for a Class 2A state championship. And tonight, the Texoma Spotlight shines at Texas Stadium for a look at
American QB Chris Massey. The Celina Bobcats won the Texas Class 2A title in December. Today, 2 of their best players signed on the dotted line. All-state offensive lineman Derek Long is going to Baylor, while tight end Frank Maddox is heading to the Pac-10 and Arizona State.
When I went to Baylor, I just liked it too much. It was a family atmosphere. The people were just so friendly to me. We were going places, meeting families, kids, playing with their kids, talking to different families, and the guys and the coaching staff were just too good to pass up.
I was late due to the state championship on getting the recruiting visits going. So, and I really liked the campus. The coaches were great, and they told me how I had a shot to play as a true freshman.
Atkinson.
Celina, Texas is just a spot on the map to most people. A busy little farm town north of Dallas. But Celina is known more around the state for its football than anything else. And in this town, football is a way of life. Celina is like any other small Texas town. It is a very tight-knit community. And on any given Friday night in the fall, this is where you're going to find most of the community watching the high school football game.
Counter, trap, right. You know, in Celina, it just kind of draws the community together. You know, I think everybody's pulling the same direction, and, you know, there's big crowds here, and we just have a lot of fun at the ball game.
Fullback field. G.A. Moore knows how to make football fun. He's the winningest active coach in Texas high school football today. Kids grow up here with the dream of playing for Coach Moore and dressing in Bobcat orange.
It's a great thrill coming out of that tunnel, just hearing the crowd banging and hearing all the people up in the stands yelling. And, I mean, it's a great honor knowing that all those people come out there to watch you play football.
And this year is no different. Celina has spent most of the season ranked in the state's top 10. The team has its eye on reaching the playoffs again, but not just for the record books. They want to win for teammate Frank Maddox. About a month ago, Maddox lost his father, Frank Sr., to lung cancer. The 2 men were very close. His father attended all his games and was a regular at practices. While his father's death was expected, it was naturally very difficult for Frank Jr. to deal with. What happened that night would be a turning point in Frank's life.
I said, you know, you have a gift. Your father left you a gift. We have closure. He loves you very much. He's here with us. He will always be here. And now it's all about you. What is it that you want to do with your life? And you know what he would like for you to do. So it's up to you to make up your mind and to rise to the occasion.
And that's just what Frank did. The very next night, he chose to be with his teammates and played the game of his life.
I thought it would be better for us to go out and play, and watch me play, than sit around and grieving about it. And I felt I had something to prove, and I had to be out there for them, so.
Frank caught a spectacular touchdown pass that night and had a monstrous defensive game, all the while leading his team to victory.
I have to tell you, it was the most wonderful moment in our lives. The entire stadium was just going crazy. It was so intense.
Frank Maddox is a remarkably strong young man, but you can see why when you realize how much support he has here in Salina.
It's just so emotional and so great that a young man can be a boy one night and a man the next.
Frank will attend college next year. Life does go on. But before he goes, he would like to leave this town with another title.
That's what we start the season out for, is win a state championship and get another ring. We won't stop until we get there, hopefully, and that's what we're all focused on now, state championship.
Steve Atkinson, Channel 8 Sports.
And Salina. Old St. Nick showed up at his fancy sleigh for this one. It was Italy getting the first break of the game when Salina's Michael Borden loses the ball trying to score, and Italy's Brandon Cooper recovers at the 1. After an Italy field goal, Salina lines up to kick one of its own, but instead they pull out a little trickery. It even fools the cameraman as Jeremiah Raymer pitches to Adam Heron, who finds Frank Maddox all alone, back of the end zone, puts the Bobcats on top 6-3. In the second half, the Gladiators regain the lead when Randy Johnson finds a seam and takes it in 22 yards, giving Italy the precarious 10-9 advantage. Late in the fourth, Michael Borden redeems himself for the earlier fumble as he caps off the game-winning drive with a 9-yard run. Salina takes the Region 2 trophy 17-10. Congratulations to the club from Salina, our Chrysler Team of the Week.
We thought it was going to be tougher. We're just glad to come out with a victory. I mean, they're a tough team, knocked us out 2 years in a row. Third time's a charm, I guess. Take them out and finally get us a victory, finally.
They're good. They're real good. And, you know, everybody saw them play last year.
G.A. Moore and the Salina Bobcats are just 2 wins away from another Texas Class 2A state football championship. As it turns out, they are battling more than just Stanton tomorrow night. They are also going to be battling the weather. Here's Matt Lawson.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but in here, it's business as usual. The Salina Bobcats, a Class 2A program with an indoor practice facility.
You know, it's good. It helps us a whole lot, and we get to work out in it quite a bit. And, you know, I think when it really helps is in the off season. We get kids in here, and they get to play and work. And, it's nice.
But tomorrow's state semifinal won't be played on turf, and it won't be played indoors. And that means that this group of Bobcats is taking Mother Nature head on.
We came in, they told us we're going outside to get a little muddy, get used to it, and at first we were all like kind of astonished to know that's what we're going to do, but then we thought about it and like, yeah, it's going to be kind of fun today. Get ready for Stanton, do anything we got to.
It wasn't going to do us much good being in here, being all warm and everything when outside is the weather we're going to be playing in. So we decided it was best for us to go ahead and go outside and get muddy and get a little wet and get used to the cold.
But Salina did more than get used to it. They embraced it. They even enjoyed it. Because the Bobcats say this season has been about having fun and doing whatever it takes to reach the top.
This is going to be a very memorable day. I'll remember this for the rest of my life just because it's 30 degrees or whatever outside and just rolling around in the water. And, I mean, this is one of the most memorable workouts I'll ever have, I'm sure.
The only thing more memorable would be hoisting that gold ball. And they're ready to do it no matter what the weather. I'm Matt Lawson for First Sports in Salina.
Here's Max Morgan.
Not exactly a Yule log, but under the circumstances, it will do. Miserable weather for Salina and Stanton in the Class 2A Division II semifinals. Not much scoring in these conditions, but just before halftime, Salina quarterback Adam Herron hits Jackie Wyatt with a 17-yard touchdown pass. Salina took a 7-0 halftime lead. Bobcats still up by a touchdown in the fourth quarter. Stanton going for it on fourth down, but Salina's Michael Borden with a big hit sacks the quarterback, and the Bobcats took over. As to the play that put the game away, appropriately, it was turned in by the Salina defense. Michael Borden and Jackie Wyatt in on the sack and safety. And with 3:41 to play, Salina led 9-0 and put the game out of reach. Salina beats the defending state champs. The Bobcats will now play Elysian Fields in the state championship game next week. The final score, Salina won it 9-0 over Stanton.
I don't know what to say. I just happy we're going to state. Everybody played a heck of a game. Everybody played their hearts out. It didn't leave nothing on the field. And paid off. We're going to state.
A couple of them, Herron and Borden, couldn't even walk all week. And, we had to leave them, keep them off their feet so they might be able to play tonight. And both of them played great ball games. And I was just tickled death with them.
It's real nice. Gives you a little comfort. Offense stepped it up this fourth quarter. Defense did a great job, and we stuck with it.
Well, one Division II state championship matchup is already set now. And as we said, most of the big games come later today.
Texas Class 2A state title on Saturday, and when you mention the Bobcats, the first thing that comes to mind is usually their legendary coach G.A. Moore. But this year, a group of Bobcat linemen are beginning to create a legend of their own. Tom Morellis has their story.
When you think of dominating lines in high school football, Class 2A linemen usually don't fit in that mix. Then again, you probably haven't watched a Salina football game.
2A, you really don't have kids usually our size, and I mean, we're good size for 2A, and it has to be one of the biggest compared to what I've seen in the past 3 years.
These men in the trenches have been wrecking havoc on opposing lines all season long.
The line usually doesn't get a lot of credit. That's part of the job, and they understand that. And that's part of the thing you have to be with to be a lineman. But, a lot of it has to go to that. You have to have great backs, too, but you also have to have a good line to be able to dominate the line of scrimmage. And we've been fortunate this year to be able to do that in a lot of the games we've played in.
Now this group of Orange Hogs are starting to create a legend. And it's not the fact they average 6'2" and 250 pounds across the board.
There's all kinds of buffets. We know a whole bunch of them that we just like to hit on every once in a while. And we just kind of make our rounds. That's our Saturday night thing to do. Go out to movies and go find a buffet to eat at. Golden Moon down in Frisco is always a good one.
Their hearty appetites may be a welcome sight to a backfield that averages 6 yards a carry, but can't be comforting to restaurant owners.
We eat them out of the business, I think, but I mean, that's just, kind of the thing. They get enough business elsewhere. We just kind of eat what we can, and that usually hurts them pretty good.
And for those...
They can once again claim their classification's top honor. It's Salina in Elysian Fields, 8 o'clock, Texas Stadium. One thing the Bobcats can boast about heading into this game is their offensive line. They average 6'2" and 250 pounds.
We take a lot of pride in what we do, and we feel that it's on us to be the best we can be and to drive people. It's our responsibility to get a rushing game going. And our backs do a great job running. Our quarterback does a great job opening up the run by throwing as well as he does.
College basketball tonight, Nick Keith in Southeast.